Tell us a little bit about, what did you take from the university that helped you in this complex world, right, that you have to manage?
So the biggest thing and the way I always see it, and even this happened in my university in Venezuela, when you're not working and you go straight to university, it just feel like passing a class. You go there, take the test, pass it. When you start working and you have your own project and you're studying at the same time, that it was kind of, in Venezuela, it was only one year that I was kind of working and studying. Well, here was the whole process. So it was very nice to, you go to a class, you see, okay, let's return investment, whatever we were reading, supply chain problems, distribution, and then it's like, I will go back and talk to my partner, hey, yesterday I was talking this, what do you think about this?
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast, Entrepreneur Podcast. So I have the pleasure of having one of our alumni, Daniel Chocron, co-founder and CEO of Tripping Animals Brewing. So it's a great pleasure to have you here, Daniel, and just have this conversation about your experience, and moreover that you are an alumni, and talk to you about how this thing has evolved. I have been to Tripping Animals a couple of times. Great experience. I love it. Great beer. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for being available. I think I feel very happy and fortunate to have you here. So I wanted to say thank you and welcome. So with that, just tell us a little bit about the journey,
Yeah. Well, no, first of all, thank you also. Honor being here. I'm also very happy to see how the university have grown a lot. Having been here in the last 2 years, and everything that I'm seeing looks amazing. So I'm really glad that everything is going great and is growing and growing. As Alex mentioned, my name is Daniel. I co-founded this company about 6 years ago. Before this, we had a company also producing beer in Venezuela. And, right now we are 4 years since we opened, and it has been a long journey. Mm-hmm. We hope to keep growing the company as we're doing now. I think the biggest thing that have keep us, is our consistency. Is one of our main values, to keep going and always work hard. And it has been a really, really, really nice journey since we started looking for places, start setting up a business plan, to what we have right now that, is still growing and doing different things to keep this, how we say it, our baby, to keep grow it healthy and strong, so it, it becomes bigger and bigger every time.
Yeah. So one thing, Daniel, that caught my attention when I went to visit you the first time, because I went there a couple of times after that. I did not meet you, but I just enjoyed the beer, was the attention to details. And when you showed me and you gave me some samples of the beer, I think that the beer, first of all, tastes amazing.
I appreciate it.
But also, I felt the attention to details, to the quality, the process, the structure. Tell me a little bit about how is your experience managing such a high quality, beer production?
So right now we are 20 people on the team, and 4 or 5 years ago we started being only 4 or 5 people, and it has been really nice. And we try to, we value not only consistency, but when we try to look people that want to work with us, a lot of passion, because the product that we create since day one is something that we had a lot of love. And as we want consistency in life, we also want consistency in our product. Mm-hmm. So everything that we try to do, we try to achieve it with the highest standard that we could do, from the service you get once you go into the establishment, to the service of selling the beer to distributors, to the final consumer, to our marketing, to our branding, to our production. Even, for example, today we're doing a collaboration with the Space Club. We're doing a beer with them. The guys came to the brewery. We did a whole barbecue for them. We were grilling for them all day. And, it's not only food for them. We also, the whole the whole company enjoys, the whole company have fun, and we try to, to create an environment that is happy for everyone. And that way, I think is how we have been able to build a healthy company that hopefully will last many years.
Right. And one thing I was going to ask, we were talking a little before this recording about the challenges during the COVID time. But the challenges became an opportunity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that is really amazing. And I think there's a quality of the good entrepreneur, which is the obstacles and the challenges become opportunities for you to pivot your business and continue to grow. Tell us about a little bit about it.
So the first year we opened, no COVID, it was mostly for the taproom. Our sales was, everything goes through taproom. Everything was about to create the experience of what Tripping Animal is. And you couldn't find it in too many stores. That was 2019. We opened November 2018, if I don't mistake now. So then after that, next year we start distributing a little bit more of beer, but still the focus is the taproom. When COVID hit in 2020, in March, I remember we were, all this is happening, and then, okay, we have to close. Then you start seeing other business closing. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? There was another brewery called Biscayne Bay. They were moving locations, and they were making their beer at that time in our location. And they had a canning line. So once this started happening, the first week, honestly, we were like, okay, it was brainstorming. We stopped production in a way. We stopped making beer because we didn't know where we could sell it. All the bars, restaurants were closed. We couldn't open our tap room. So it was a week of brainstorming, and we had to make some adjustment in the tap room, to see what we were gonna do. After that, we start seeing, let's start it to go. And we didn't have a canning line at that moment. This brewery that were there, they had a canning, so we start canning all of our beers. And honestly, we couldn't be more thankful with our community, because since we start saying to go, people start showing up at the door for to go. And we were getting this huge line just to be able to get beer. And we were like, oh, fuck, now we gotta go back and brew more beer. So we start brewing more beer. We have the community helping us and supporting us a lot, that we couldn't be nothing without them. And at the same time, then we start doing deliveries.
Right.
Anything that we could, that we could increase our sales, move our product, get it to the hands of people in a safety matter, because at the end it was hard times, and it wasn't easy to develop a business, our retail business, our restaurant business. It was impossible. So how we could, in a safe manner, get our product into the hands of the customers. So that was the first we did. And then, Miami, you could open outside, you could open inside, 50%. So we will just follow the guidelines. We make the place as safe as possible, split 6 feet, all the regulations that we had to do, spend extra money just to keep everything tight. And at the same time, then we got a good friend called Will. He helped us also in this matter. He was a mentor, and he helped us go into different markets.
Right.
So we start selling beer in California. We start selling beer in Boston. We start selling beer in New York. And then out of COVID, we start opening whole different markets. And now to these days, we are in 20 different states.
Wow.
And even though it's 20, we're very craft beer centric. So maybe, we are in New York, but we're going to be in 20, 30 bars that are craft beer centric, craft beer restaurants, craft beer markets. Because we're proud our beer is a very high-end product that we put a lot of high-quality materials, ingredients, like for example our fruit beers, just like the ones that he was showing. We put real fruit there, and everything that we put in our beer is the highest we can get. So we're very focused on our craft beer niche. COVID for us was an opportunity to grow a little bit faster than I think what we will if that wouldn't happen.
No, this is amazing, because technically that's a DNA of the entrepreneur, right? To find ways to continue adjusting, adapting, the flexibility, the finding the opportunity niche. Because I remember when you and I talked first time on the 2021 or a little after that, you were starting to look for the distribution and things like that. So things have grown quite a bit. And one thing I was going to ask you, in this process of growing and penetrating new states, et cetera, what were some of the challenges that you faced? Because you talk about high quality, you also depend, obviously, high quality means good people, good process, good structure, good consistency, et cetera. Yeah. So make sure everything is also. So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you had.
So since the biggest challenge that we had in the whole project, honestly, was moving from a different country to do a business that we didn't have too much experience, and then finding all these regulations, all these, there was impact fees, taxes, accounting, all this new world that the USA have as a structure for you to succeed as a business, that you need to have it. So learning all that, learning all the permits, the city. If you tell me to do it again, I will do it, even though I'm 100% happy with what we have. I think with everything that we have learned, we will do it better, faster than, but of course it's easier to count the eggs once they are out. But we that was biggest challenge. We had challenge like getting the list. We had challenge one day, the DERM department, they called me, hey, if you don't submit this paperwork, the amount of the water the sewer can take, it could be used for another company, and we'll have to put a new pump. And if you don't give me this paperwork by today, you might not be able to open. Or we'll have to start a new process to put a new pump, and things like that I never thought it could happen. But so it was a lot of learning and a lot of, entrepreneurial kind of a thing. You get a problem, solve it, next problem, solve it, problem, next solve it. We try to plan as much as possible, but there is a lot of things that we didn't know how to make it. So at the end, I think it was long hours of work, just to solve problems and solve those obstacles to get a result. And we have learned a lot of things with suppliers, manufacturers, but I think opening was those, it took us 2 years to open a facility. That was, I think, one of the biggest challenges. COVID was also a big challenge. Apart from that is, how do you keep that consistency and quality? And like, for example, now we start doing hop contracts. So now all of our hops that are going to a beer, we contract them 1, 2, 3 years. Last year we went to Yakima Valley, and we pick our hops ourselves. And we get to pick a 1 acre, 3, 4, 5 of this variety. I have this acre, so have us been able to do that. Now I know that we're going to be able to be consistent in all of our products, and I'm picking the highest quality hop that I can, that I can pick from whatever we choose. So stuff like that, and then a lot of negotiating with suppliers. At the end, it's a production. It's a big production business. And though at the end, if you lower 1 cent a can, $1 a pound, all at the end, all counts. Yeah. On COVID, for example, it was hard to do the cans because with all the bars closing, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, everyone stopped producing, Pepsi in a bag. So sodas in a bag, sodas in kegs. So everything turns into bottle and cans. So you have all these, even Corona, all their keg draft systems. Corona is the COVID is here. They cannot put in the bars. What they do with that extra production? They gotta can it. So they gotta get more cans. So there wasn't cans on the market. There wasn't bottles on the market. So at the beginning it was kind of a hustle, try to finding a pallet of can, until thankfully we found a way, and then let's get a container. And that way we were secure, and then we will buy a container between 3 breweries, and we will work it out. But we had a lot of issues that, you just gotta see how, look for options and brainstorming. Thankfully, we have a great team. I have great partners. We sit down together and try to solve the problem in the best way possible that we can think.
Right. So this is great because I wanted to pivot the conversation in terms of the learnings and the things that the university gave you, Atlantis University gave to you. Because you mentioned lots of things. You mentioned the marketing, you mentioned distributors, you mentioned supply chain, you talk about vendors, procurement, the numbers, the licenses, the installation, right, all the approvals. So, which is all that together that we see in the books, right, on the textbooks, etc. And then you put it into action, which is tough. You know, when you see things and you have to solve problems, right, and you have to deliver a solution, not necessarily a white paper, but for all of us that have been students and we teach and we learn, and the alumni and current students, tell us a little bit about, you know, what did you take from the university that helped you in this complex world, right, that you have to manage?
So the biggest thing, and the way I always see it, and even this happened in my university in Venezuela, when you're not working and you go straight to university, it just feels like passing a class. You go there, take the test, pass it. When you start working and you have your own project and you're studying at the same time, that it was kind of, you know, in Venezuela, it was only one year that I was kind of working and studying. Well, here was the whole process. So it was very nice to, you know, you go to a class, oh, you see, oh, okay, let's return investment, whatever we were reading, supply chain problems, distribution, and then it's like, I will go back and talk to my partner, hey, yesterday I was talking this, you know, what do you think about this? So it was really nice to have that at the same time, because that, you know, maybe you read it 3 years ago and you don't remember, but the fact that you're doing it at the same time, it helps you. Another thing that it was great for me, honestly, we were already open when we were here, when I was here studying. So any project that, okay, we need to do this business plan, or we need to do this marketing plan. Okay, we got to do it with this group. I would say, okay, let's do it about tripping animals. And then I will get ideas from all the students that were studying with me. And now I have, you know, maybe 4 or 5 ideas to implement in our, and then I also have the professor then reviewing the idea and getting it better. So there was a lot of things like that, you know, it will help me for the university. Okay, let's see how, you know, how we can blend. You have the networking, that one is one of the best thing of, you know, at the end, any community. We were just mentioning, you know, we are all there in a group and we talk, and there is business that have come out of, hey, I open a bar, I need beer. You know, there are things that, or how do I set up my keg system, my draft system. So networking, you know, you have the professor reviewing all these things that I'm doing about tripping animals that are helping me out in the same time in my business, and then that being able to really apply what you're learning and not just learning to see when you're going to use it. So, you know, use it right away.
Right, exactly.
Those are,
and this is something interesting, because I always say that there's nothing more practical than a good theory that really can be applied. Because you learn the structure, and your role, our role, is to customize that theory, to make it work in real world. And in your case, you had to apply those concepts as you were working and doing your business, right? So there was a great synergistic approach, because you talk to the professors, your classmates, your business partners, at the same time with the suppliers and people opening your business and marketing, everything at once. So it was a great experience, right? Yeah. So in terms of people, I always ask that question about the talent, right? So a good quality beer, because I taste your beer, it tastes fantastic, right? And you have a couple options of beers that you provide. So that, and you mentioned consistency, you mentioned that process, right? The working, how is it talent? How is the people factor play the role in your production, because it's not just production, is the distribution, is the experience in your bar, right? Yeah. Is the people receiving the beer in a different state, opening and say, hey, it tastes good. So there's a lot of people that you don't even see, right? So it depends on the quality. How do you see that talent challenge?
So finding always the right people is hard. We have been, I think, very lucky that we have found really good people along the way that have helped and support the trip. And that's how kind of what we call it. So, because right now we're 4 big departments. You got the production, the marketing, you got the sales, and you have production, marketing, sales, and then you have kind of the, how do you call that? Accounting, legal, all those things that honestly not everyone likes. Everyone likes marketing, everyone likes production, everyone likes to do a recipe, everyone wants to put let's put these fruits. Yeah. The bar itself, it's also a really nice one, and then you have all that profit and loss, balance sheet, accounting, payroll, legal. That is also, and you want to have someone there that you really trust. You want to have someone there that, that is going to help you grow the business. And thankfully, us being four partners and being able to be each of us in different areas. And at the end, because I think it's because of something that is ours, we put the most love and the most passion in everything.
Right, right.
So when we try to look people, we look resumes, we look reference, but also it's a matter of a feeling and understanding what's, we do run a company not on the regular way. You have schedules, you have day-to-day operations, but we have our way of being, and we have created a nice family that have grown, and everyone cares. Everyone cares about, that glass shouldn't be there, or everyone plays like, let's try to get this better, or, everyone cares about a little bit of, of what we're doing and how we do it. And the nicest things is that everyone wants to do it even better,
Right, right.
Everyone is looking always for how can we make this experience better, how we can make this beer better. So, people have been key. And I think the way we, all of us connect is one of our biggest things to have that consistency.
I think what you're saying, Danny, is almost like a class. It's almost like an example of a business class, right? So you talk about the synergies of different groups and organizations working together. You talk about the passion, which I think it translates to the activation of passion. I think is a sense of purpose. Everybody wants to do great. Everybody wants to do a good job, right? And then you talk about integration, which is a synergy, but also specifically about the processes and how things are dependent on each other and the organization. Also, the things that you have to do what needs to be done, right? So if payroll and accounting and anything, whatever is required to the business to work, somebody has to do it, and somebody has to do it well. So at the end of the day, you're saying, listen, to be an entrepreneur is great because you can do what you love, etc. But to make the entrepreneurship work, it's a lot of work, and you need to be willing to do the extra mile, to go the extra mile, right? Yeah. And I think that's very fortunate. So before we finish, for our students, our viewers that are looking at Tripping Animals, brewing, what could you tell them? What if people want to be an entrepreneur? Any advice? Any recommendation?
I think the biggest thing is consistency. We have been developing this project. I brew my first beer in 10 years ago. That was the first time I make beer, and it became like a passion. And then we started making more beer, and then I took that passion and let's make it a business. And then this is something I can see myself doing every day. This is something I can see myself growing. And I'm not gonna lie, year 3 maybe was like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not making money. Year 4 is like, why? And then now I have been 10, 12 years. So I think consistency and passion are one of the biggest values of an entrepreneurship, because if you have consistency, if you think you're gonna succeed one day to the other, that's not, I don't think that's the common thing. If you want to build something that you want to give to your kids, your grandkids, it takes time. And then, the biggest thing is take risk.
Right.
You have to take risks. When we start this project, we took all of our families together. We told them we were going to do this. They believe in us, that we are 100% grateful of the effort that they did to be able to succeed this project. But we took a huge risk because, the first time I opened that door, a 15,000 square feet lease, we opened the warehouse, there is office, and we're like, okay, now this is real. Now what we're gonna do? So you gotta, and if you don't take that risk,
right,
and you stay in your comfortable zone, you don't grow. And I think every entrepreneur have that inside, that wants just to grow, and sometimes it's just to take the risk to see what happens. And sometimes it could be great, and sometimes, we had done mistakes over the years. We thought it was going to be great, and maybe it wasn't, and then we just start over and keep going and make it better.
Yeah, I think that's the lesson that I think you can give us in terms of, because a lot of people want to start and do their own business. And also in many organizations today, we have this thing of being the entrepreneur. So people that work in large companies, and the company give you the opportunity to start something in the company, right? As if you were an entrepreneur, but intrapreneur. So you do that. So the principles are the same, right? The passion, the consistency, the extra mile, the patience, things don't work as you plan, and you have people beat you and criticize you, and the risk and the pressure of making the numbers and delivering product, good quality. You don't know if you're going to do tomorrow. But that, I think, is a great differentiator. That is the ability to continue, right?
Yeah.
It's like, just get going. Let's do it, and that's not easy. I think that's something that actually is very hard, right?
Yeah.
That probably in your case you went through that process, right? Keep saying, and it was difficult in terms of that. So Daniel, before we finish, any final words about any of Tripping Animals or your experience or anything you wanted to
honestly
let us know?
has an entrepreneur is like, go for it, take the risk, but and enjoy the ride in a way, and it's never too late to do it. And then also, apart from that, I want to invite you all to come to Tripping Animals to try the beer, to see the facilities. We are doing big events all the time. We have one of our biggest events on April is Irie Jungle.
Right.
We got about 70 different breweries from around the country coming, the brewers itself, to pour the beer to the people. And you're going to be able to drink more than 100 different type of beers. It's an all-you-can-drink event. We have food vendors, music. It's a really nice atmosphere, and it's a really nice way to see the what is the craft beer community.
No, I'll be there for sure.
That is
you don't have to call me again. I'll be there for sure. And but anyway, so what I wanted to first of all, thank you very much for your availability. I think it's an honor to have you with us.
No, it's my pleasure.
Having alumni succeeding and doing good work for the economy, hiring people for the community. So I think it's phenomenal. Applying the things that you learn in the school. So you're making education a tangible asset, tangible resource that you're using on a daily basis. Your beer is great. I have been there. I'll go there many times. The beer is phenomenal. And I wanted to thank our viewers for the opportunity to have us here. Again, Daniel Chocron, co-founder and CEO of Tripping Animal Brewing. So great to have you here, Daniel. I wanted to thank you again. And I wanted to continue the conversation with you for future opportunities, and count on us here at Atlantis for whatever you may need in the future.
Yeah. Here, the same. Anything that we could do, if you want to bring beer to the university, we can do it.
Thanks very much. So have a great day, guys. So it was wonderful. I appreciate it. Thanks, Daniel.
No, thank you very much.